Hello. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Desktop audio properties. And this should be this one. Hello. Oh, I have audio. Chat if you can hear me. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Hi, hello everyone. Let me do the intro once again. Hello, thanks for coming to the stream, and it would be a good idea to let everyone in our Discord server that we are live. Live now. And again, I'll share the link. Well, so this stream is all about using the assets that you can get for free in the Unreal Marketplace. You can find them easily if you go to the Epic Launcher and go to the Marketplace part of the launcher, which is here, and it should load in a little bit. And if you scroll a little bit, you will find a free for the month. If you don't know about these assets, every month Epic selects some maybe 5 or 6 assets so they can be obtained for free, and it's really useful, and it really increases your library of assets every month. Like, they have been doing this like for 2 years, and if you check my library, I will have like a lot of them, and I shouldn't have done that because this will have to load again, but okay. So the topic for this stream is using these assets. I probably won't use this architecture office and the landscaping one because it's like it will not be easy for them to fit. Like, the assets are not like all thematic. They doesn't have really a theme. So what I saw here is like, oh, particles, I can use that anywhere. A map solves my map problems, and I have a goblin warrior that I can use as a character or as enemies. So I'll probably be using these 3, and are the 3 of the assets that I have previously downloaded, so we don't have to wait for me downloading stuff and importing them again. Okay, so again, the topic is creating a game using these assets. It says I will create a game in 2 hours, and I will, but I won't take in consideration this intro that I am doing right now. So if the stream later on it's more than 2 hours, now you know why. Also, I have not determined which type of game I will be creating, so I'll be also doing that on the fly. And if I need to, I will spend more time explaining or answering questions. So probably I will have a timer somewhere that I can pause. Yeah, that would be a good idea. So it's truly like 2 hours of development. But if I'm answering questions, then, well, do you have a stopwatch? Okay, perfect. What else do I need to do before starting? Just a huge disclaimer. I slept through most of my alarms, so I just wake up like 10 minutes ago. That's why I was sorting out the audio on the stream like a madman. So yeah, that only means that I'm a little bit slower and maybe my voice is a little bit deeper, but that's mainly it. That's the only disclaimer. Oh, before I forget, you can go and find most of our tutorial content in a very organized way. If you go to our webpage in /quest, which I should put here as a link. Here is a web page where you can select your quest. You can go to fundamentals, and you will find our all our YouTube videos, but organized by difficulty level, by also starting. You may not know what to do, where to start. Well, here you have foundations, blueprint fundamentals, and like that you can start building your path, building your quest. And all of this is free content. You can just click it and it will have a little description. And if you want to save your progress, this just leads you to our Teachable page that you can enroll for free, and this way you can save where did you stop, right? But it's the same content. Now, if you're looking for our paid content, where our action game has been updated recently, actually, you can find it also in our web page. Let me link that. Create an action game. Yes. And I'll pin this. And I swear this will be only at the start and then at the end. But when we begin, we won't stop. And yeah, it's basically creating an action game. You don't really have to know anything. We will see the fundamentals. And here's everything that we have done thus far. We create the project, create interactive components. We create a character that can move, and we see all the animations, the animation blueprint. We create enemies and simple AI for now. I will be doing an AI deep dive here also. Command attack, command effects, VFX, UX, and some of the UI. Environments, we build the integration for packaging. And skill system is not using we're not using C++. C++ will probably be an extra in this course, because C++ make it a little less available for everyone. More visual effects for the attacks, polish, and yeah, it's still in early access because the game is not finished. So it will, it is expensive now, but it will get more expensive for sure when we release it to Steam, and then we show you how to release it to Steam. But yeah, it's getting updated as we speak. So be sure to check it out if you want to just, I want to create a game. This teaches you the fundamentals of how to create a game, and then you can apply it to any type of game. A lot of our students are just following this as an example and creating their own game of whatever type of genre, like in parallel. And yeah, it's a valid way of learning. Okay, so with that out of the way, we can finally start. But first I'll read the chat, just so I don't miss any question. Oh, and again, hello everyone that has come here, that has wake up early. At least for me, it's super early. It's like 10 o'clock, 10 in the morning. Usually up at 12, but yeah, I'm just changing my wake up hours. There's a question. I have a question. How can you make weapon swapping? What I mean is, I want a character to drop the weapon that it already have and pick up the one on the ground. It can be achieved in a lot of ways. If you really need to watch the weapon drop, it can be a little bit more cumbersome to do. Cumbersome? Does it apply? a little bit more. It's not hard, it's just time consuming because you need to show the actual mesh and apply it some physics and then throw it and make it collide with the environment. But if you don't really need to show the weapon being replaced, then it's super easy. It's just a matter of how you handle the attachments to your character. There is an attach node that you can use for the weapons, and yeah, depending on the weapon, maybe the animations also need to change. I mean, it's a very long question, so I'm just giving like the overall steps. Like, this is super useful when you're a programmer. It's called pseudocode. Let's say you're near a weapon. You need to press a button. Press a button to pick up. Then when you press the button, you need to attach the new weapon. Change animation, and then the weapon picked up. What else could you do here? See if the weapon affects any stat. Usually the weapon should work in the same way, so I'll just put here touch and drop current previous weapon. And that's pretty much it. Probably step 4 should be at the start. Yeah, something like this would be better, and that's the good thing of doing this first in text and then in code. But yeah, following this should be a good. This is called pseudocode. If I needed some validations here, I would add it, but this should be like the game plan. Okay, and that's, I believe, most of the questions. If I press equip weapon, if I press to equip weapon ground, just make animations to equip the weapon on the ground and add to loadout. Yeah, but how can I replace the new weapon with the old weapon? I mean, I'm guessing that the weapon is not part of the actual 3D model. If it is, then you will need to swap skeletal meshes. If it's two models, like one for the character and one for the weapon, then you can just detach the weapon. There's a node called detach. Detach from actor, detach from component, and this receives an actor. Or a component. A component? Usually it receives an actor. The weapon should be its own actor. Probably. Yeah, I believe it receives the static mesh actor also. So yeah, should be found. Ram, este video lo vas a subir a la página de UNF Vault. Probablemente no, es un stream. Yeah, so that probably this video won't be in UNF Vault. It's more of a stream. We'll see. Good evening from Thailand. Oh, perfect. We salute. Well, I salute Thailand also. Okay, so again, now we will start. Here's my clock to create the game in 2 hours. This is the moment everyone has been waiting for. All the assets that I'm using are free assets, at least for now. Don't forget to get them here in the Epic Games Launcher Marketplace. There's a Goblin Warrior, there's the Bazaar, and there's a Niagara bundle that we can use. So it's this one. This is the map. make sure to get them before the month ends. And yeah, I already inspected the map, and it's, I mean, if I press play, hopefully this doesn't kill my frames, and I think it's killing my machine. Yeah, extremely poor. Hopefully it's looking good. Yeah, I have like this space to play, so maybe I could just create like a hack and slash type of thing and give an attack and be done with it. Maybe I could create a shooter on rails. If I try to create a horror game, it would take more than 2 hours, because horror, I mean, creating jump scares is easy, but you need to build an atmosphere. You need to build like a lot of stuff. Oh, here's an invisible wall. So maybe a horror game won't suit my needs, my 2-hour needs. Right. Oh, and I'm getting that texture streaming pool message. Maybe it's because, let me see, start streaming. Let me check my streaming pool. Oh, just 1 GB, and this is a very heavy, if I remember correctly, pool size. Is it here somewhere? Here, our streaming pool size, and let me increase it to 2 GB, and that should get rid of the message. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I'll try to explain most of it as it goes. It's not exactly like a beginner's tutorial, otherwise it will definitely take more than 2 hours. And this map is perfect for a zombie game. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. What I don't know is how I will attack all these zombies. Okay, so again, it's not exactly a beginner's tutorial, but if you're here and you don't understand something I'm doing, I will pause like every maybe 15 to 20 minutes to see if there are any questions about what I have done. I'll explain what I'm doing, but I won't go into detail. For example, I didn't explain really what I did with the commands. It's just that I had a texture streaming warning, and that's because there are a lot of textures here that maybe are more detailed than what I would need right now. So they take more memory, and the default limit is 1 GB. What it did is just increased it to 2 GB, which is like the solution. But another solution would be to decrease the size of the textures, which would take a lot more time, but it means that it will consume less memory. Me just increasing the texture limit is just like a band-aid, but I could just put in my game, oh, you need this, like 2 GB of RAM at least for this game to run, and that would be it. Right, so increasing the texture limit is like, oh, the pool size, it is a solution, but if you start increasing it like, oh, 10 GB, 16 GB, then it's not really a solution, because probably no one will be able to run. But okay, so that's like an example of a little explanation versus complete explanation. Like, a complete explanation takes more time, so if you see something that you didn't understand and you want to know more about it, just ask it in the chat, and I will take time. I will pause the timer and I will explain it. And let me get some water, because yeah, I'll be needing that Let me 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully you didn't leave. So let's finally start. So the game I'll create, given the assets I have here. Yeah, doing a zombie shooter could be like a good solution for the time. I already did that, but I didn't like give a complete breakdown of it. So yeah, why not do it again? Let me see. Yeah, let's do that. And now that I'm finally starting, hopefully you didn't leave, let's press start to the timer. And now I have the timer. Oh man, the pressure is on. So the first thing you usually want to start when prototyping games or creating games is focusing on the base, the 3 C's, which are camera, character, controller. What's your character? How are you going to look at your character? And also, how are you going to control that character, right? So about the character, I have this goblin. And if I go to my, this is materials, animation, meshes, texture, mesh. Okay, goblin base. I'll remove my filter. We have this goblin, which is a modular asset. In the case of the red one, this one isn't. Is there a green one that I can use? Okay, it seems that... Ah, here it is. The goblin. Right, so this character, we probably could use it and be done with it. Usually, when you're working with marketplace stuff, you want to see what animations you have available and just use them, right? So what I was saying, when you're working with little time and you need to create a game, you need to know what your main character will do, right? I mean, even if I say, oh, it's a zombie shooter, let's see if I can make it happen. If I can make a character have a camera, where do I want to position the camera and how would I control it? That will open a lot of doors and that will resolve a lot of the, what I call the fog of war of development that I'm currently in. I only have the base idea, but not much else. So we have swords, we have staffs, we have animations here. Animations. We have body attack. Okay. Kind of underwhelming. A slash. Die. Idle. Idle defense. For sure I won't implement the defense. Jumps. Rage. Oh, why did the jump had to be? Does it has root motion or something like that? Let me see. Bones. Let me see the bones. It doesn't, I believe. Oh, it does. It does. Okay. Okay, it's fine. Rage. Oh, I'm getting a few ideas actually. Attack. A wizard attack. Okay, I'm getting some ideas. Okay, so what about this? This is my pitch for the idea. So you will have a lot of goblins. I'll just drag and drop this. A lot of goblins in this map, right? Let's say they will be spawned. Not randomly. If I have time I can randomize it, but for now no. And you will become one of these goblins, and you the goblin, we will put our camera near it. We'll do the rage animation that I found here. Where is the rage animation? Something like that, and it will become the red goblin, and you will be the red goblin, and you need to assassinate the fellow goblins because you have gone mad, and you will become like a wizard, so you can shoot stuff, right? And that's the game. Like, kill all your countrymen. I mean, for now, maybe later on I can come up with a story on why this terrible thing is happening to them, but I want a game first, and then I can think about any type of story, because a story is more malleable than development, right? If I program an attack, it will be easier to change like the story. Oh, instead of, it's not a maybe a knight, it's a wizard. It's easier to do than just changing all the code, or oh, I need to redo all the attacks. They are not projectiles now, they are sword attacks. So yeah, in this type of projects where time, and I've spent like 5 minutes game developing or game designing, where time is of the essence, gameplay is king. Usually gameplay is king. I will just focus on what's going to happen regarding the gameplay, more than just trying to create a story. And this type of approach is very useful in come on, I lost the name. Oh, in game jams. You just need a loose idea, and now I can begin with the character, with the main character. Okay, so let's create a folder for my game. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. New folder. July Marketplace game. And let me correct, rename it. I need to change a little bit of the name, otherwise the A wouldn't change. Okay, perfect. So everything that's important for me, I'll put it in a folder. I would call it core. This is some pattern I acquired like a long time ago. It's part of the I believe Alar made like a and I also forget the name about that. Let me just pause the time and find it, because it's super useful if you don't know about it. Hopefully I have it. Style guide, there it is, style guide. And I will just link it it's very useful to have a style guide, especially for how you will name your stuff. Here you have, it's more of a guide than a rules. So naming conventions, how to create the folders, folder structure is very useful. If you haven't used a style guide, come on, English, don't fail me. If you haven't used a style guide, it's a good idea to check out how a style guide works. It's very useful when working with others. When working with yourself, you probably will know where you put stuff, but whenever you come back to a project after a few months, you will forget. So it's very useful to have like a way of knowing where did you place stuff. And with this as a guide or as a base, you can start modifying it to whatever you find it that makes more sense for you. If you're working in a team, then you will probably need to agree on how to use that and style guide. But yeah, the focus is that the main idea is that if you don't have one, then you should use one, and if you already have one, then that's good. Just tweak it to your needs. And let me say hello to everyone that has just come to the stream. Someone asked, what am I doing? You make a full life? I mean, shooter game, FPS. Because of the assets I have, I probably won't create a conventional FPS. I have a goblin and I have a wizard type of stuff, so probably won't be an FPS. Maybe if the next month I have some assets for it, that for sure. Okay, so again, let's continue. So I created my core folder. I create my main character folder. It's not exactly the main character, it's the character that the player will use, so I'll probably just change this to player. And here, blueprint class, I know it will be a character because it's a goblin, a biped goblin that needs to move. Blueprint, and this will be if I just name it player, probably I will need to reuse. Okay, I'll just call it goblin. Hopefully I don't need to later duplicate this for the other goblin stuff. And the goblin needs the skeletal mesh. And the skeletal mesh needs my animation blueprint and the goblin, which if I have time later I will use the modular part stuff. For now I only need like the full mesh. So let's make it work. It's like this. Let's put it like that. I'll put this to right so I can make it first rotate like so, and then I will make this fit. Yeah, that would be good. And let me see if the goblin is clipping the fit or not. Press F. I think it's fine. Yeah, it's clipping a little bit. So let me fix it. 60 69. Nice. Okay, so that will be it. Hey, you don't need to be like exact, as long as it, oops, I deleted it, as long as it works, then it's fine by me. I don't do it like super perfect, because sometimes by doing that some animation may leave your feet in the air, and I'm not going to program the IK feet here, so I just want like a quick and dirty game. Okay, perfect, I have my character. This will be my character, and for now let's just leave it like that. We can worry about the details later on. I need to move my character, so oh well, I need to also control my character. So remember, character, control, and camera, and this also needs to have a camera. Let's control it first to set up which character I want to control. It's all about the input, no, all about the game mode, excuse me. So here inside my core folder, I'll create a new folder called framework, and here I will put anything that goes for the actual gameplay framework, like the game mode. And here probably I need to put blueprint class and game mode. Here I'll just call it these were goblins, goblin game, and that's not how you spell goblin. Goblin game. Here in the classes section, if you don't have it, go to class defaults. In the default pawn class, I should select my goblin. This will probably change in the future because I will want to randomize which goblin do I get, but for now let's just create this to test my character very easily. Okay, perfect. Now I need to use this game mode, so I could go here, override the project settings, or override the world. If I override the world, then the goblin game mode only affects this level. If I override the settings, which is what I will do, I will affect every map in my game. So select game mode class, goblin game. Perfect. Now I will assign a player start, so the game knows where I want to start. And if it's colliding with anything, then it would say bad size. So if I press play, a blueprint goblin should be created. Oh, and it's taking a long time, so probably I will change map. So there you go, a goblin is created, it's assigned to me, and because I don't have a camera, then it does its best. Am I still streaming? Let me pause my clock, because I saw a message. Let me know if I'll type it. Let me. Is it back again? It's back. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, so that wasn't fun. Seems like some, I don't know. I saw a, yeah, sound cuts out. If it's still cutting out, it seems like my connection was lost for a minute. And I'm, yeah, let me know if this cuts out. Yeah, when I started playing, it cut out. Okay, good to know. I should. Man, I didn't start recording this. Yeah, just in case, I also record it on my end. Even now, I'll press start recording. Yeah, and I'll just give a overview. Probably the stream end because it was too heavy for the machine to stream and also run that map, so probably I will need to create a map. Okay, so 14 minutes of development, 5 of them were just trying to figure out what game do I want to create. It will be like a zombie shooter, but you are one of the goblins that will be shooting, so there will be a lot of goblins in the map. You will become one of them, you will be enraged, and then you will be killing all the other goblins. So the only things I have done is I created the folder for all my game assets, core folder, explain a little bit about a style sheet, created the framework folder, created a game mode. Inside the game mode, I selected my character, which is just here, blueprint, the goblin, right click, blueprint, and it's a character. Double click, I created the skeletal mesh here, which now that I think about it, it's really not needed because the mesh is here, so I forgot the character already came with a mesh, so I'll just replace it. And I'll be copying the attributes with shift right click and control right click, no, shift left click. Rotations, there it goes. Now I can delete my skeletal mesh. Perfect, and that's pretty much it. That's the only thing that I have, well, the only things that I have done. Created the character, assigned the mesh, assigned the character in my game mode, and in my level, well, in my editor here in project settings, assigned the goblin game. Perfect. So let's see if there's any comment. Yes, all the assets that I'm using right now are free to use. Is there a keyboard click show in Unreal Engine? No, there's not. Why not use the character mesh and add the skeletal mesh? Yes, that's exactly what I have done right now. Disconnect. Okay, sounds fine. For the blueprint goblin, why not use the character mesh? Yes. Playing some Apex Legends, no problems. What type of game are you making? That's just what I explained. So we can continue. Okay, I didn't compile the mesh, let's compile it. Let's keep the editor happy. And now we can continue. Okay. So let's press play. And if I press play here, I have my character, I need my camera. So let's add the camera. If I'm going to be making a third-person game, which probably I will, I'll play with the idea of a first-person one. But for now, third-person is gonna work for me. I don't want it to be attached to the mesh, so I'll delete it. I'll click on the capsule and add it again. Spring arm. Now we're talking. Yeah, otherwise it will get the rotation of the mesh, which is right now at -90, and things can get a little bit complicated. Select the spring arm and a camera. Again, if I'm doing something that you want to know more about it, just ask for it. I'll make a pause every 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, spring arm, camera. With this I should have a camera. It's not exactly where I will want it, so let's modify the spring arm here and maybe a target arm length, a shorter one. Yeah, that could be better, but and this rotation won't matter because the rotation will follow the mouse. Yeah, but something like this, that's what I want to achieve. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so when deciding a camera angle, you need to know what type of gameplay you will have. Right now, probably will be some type of shooter, like with magic. I want to kill stuff that are around me, right? So if I see this objectively, and can I get my notifications here? Here it is. I could have used the this Windows 10. Come on, man. Yeah, Windows 10 replaced my light shot. Okay. So if I wanted to kill stuff here, I need to take in consideration that my character is occupying a great deal of my screen. So where are my drawing tools? Okay, so if this is my screen, do I have a... No, I don't have a... Okay, you will need to bear with my drawings. If this is my screen, my character is occupying a lot of it. So maybe I won't want this type of camera. What I can do then is just put it a bit higher. And not in that axis, maybe in here. Okay, that would be better, but it's either that or I can just decrease the arm length, and I will tweak it for sure after adding the controls, which is the next step, right? We have the character. Do we have the character? Oh, well, it gets created because here is a player start and the game mode creates the default pawn. So we have the character, we have the camera, we need the controls. So for the controls, here in player, I need the input. We'll be using the enhanced input, so I need an input action. I need an input action for movement. And why am I typing like that? And yes, this is this video will be uploaded to the channel. Yeah, it will stay for sure. Input again. Input action. And this should be the camera movement. I could also call it look, right? So input action, this will be a 2D axis because I want to control going forwards and sideways. So this is fine. And the camera will also be a 2D axis 2D because I want it to move side to side and up and down. So I have my two actions, which I should save. I should save everything actually. I will be using source control, but the assets are so big, especially the map, that it will take a long time for me to save like a revision. So for that reason I won't be using source control because I would have used Git. So it's a little bit dangerous. If I crash and I lost everything, then for sure that the stream ends and I will go crying somewhere. But yeah, it's a risky business. Input. Now that I have the input actions, then I need a mapping context where I will group the actions and give them a key. So this will be my input mapping context for my player. mapping, I'll need to create one for each action movement. And the movement, very simple, click W for going forwards, S, click here to press the key, S for going backwards. Because I'm going backwards, I need to modify this. By default, when I press W, you will get a value like something like 1. So I need to negate it to get backwards. So let's negate it. Modifiers, negate. Now this gives me -1. So W is 1, S is -1. Nice. Let's add a map. Oh, no. Excuse me. Stop. Let's add a new key because the movement is in 2 axes, forwards and side to side. So I need to add a new key. This will be D. Now if D is also going 1 in the same axis as W, so I need to modify this to go in the another axis direction. So here we have swizzle input axis. Hopefully it's pronounced like this, otherwise you need to understand I'm from Latin America, so English is not my first language. So swizzle input axis values D, and A will be left, which should be the same. So again, let's swizzle it and let's negate it because I need to go in a different direction than the D key. So we have the movement, let's use it immediately. For my goblin, for now, this will change for sure, maybe, who knows, but for now, in the begin play, let's add the mapping. So we are just going to tell this character that we want to use this input mapping, which means that the movement will be W, S, D, and A, also called as WASD. So the WASD, let's get the enhanced input subsystem. So you just need to learn this eventually. You get the controller. Oh, come on. I could just get the player controller. And here you will have the enhanced input local player subsystem. Another way to get it is get the controller, cast it to player controller, and I will do it like this because it's possible that I reuse this character for my AI. So I need to check if it's a player or not. So that's why I'm not using get player controller like this. I'm getting the controller. Every pawn has a controller. Could be an AI controller, could be a player controller. Casting it to a player controller, and here I'll get the enhanced input local player subsystem. Oh, and stuff are getting reorganized because I'm using the Blueprint Assist plugin. It's very useful whenever we are working with Blueprint. You can press a key and it will organize it for you. And I don't want it to auto-organize. So let me change it to never, because I like to just put everything near each other so I can understand what I'm doing, and then later I let it reorganize it for me. With the input local player subsystem, it's a good idea to check if it is valid. If it is valid, then I can use it and I can add the mapping context. And the mapping context is the thing that we just created here, the player. This means that now I have access to the input action movement. Now, what I just said is the truth, but not literally the truth, because even if I don't connect this, I do have access to the input action movement. But whatever I add here won't happen. It will only trigger or start or be ongoing if I add the correct input mapping context. And let me just delete everything here. So now that I have added the mapping context, I can use it. So by default, whenever you press a key and you hold it, it will mean that it's being triggered, which is exactly what I need. So I'm going to be using trigger. If you want to know more about the enhanced input system, I already did a fundamentals course on it. It's for free in our channel. You can search it in our dev quest, or you can check it out in our YouTube channel. So I need to add some movement. Let's get the character movement. This is a component that already comes with the character, which is what we are using as a base class. So we can add input and add input vector. Now, was it add input vector? This is if the is a pound movement component. Add input, no. Add movement input. This is the one that the character uses. Okay, let's use this. Add movement input. When it's triggered, I need a direction and a scale. So here we have like the value that we assign to the action. If you remember correctly, we assign it a 2D vector, so we need to break it. So let's break it, split the struct pin, and we have a value for X and we have a value for Y. So we need two of these input movements, one for X and one for Y. Now we need to determine exactly what do I mean by X and what do I mean by Y, because if I put here in the word direction 1 in X and in Y 1, it will work here, right? But if my camera is looking to another place, let's say I rotate my camera like this, and let me just remove the rotation. If I rotate my camera like this and I press W, it's still following that word coordinate, and that's not exactly what we want. We want to follow where the camera is. The camera will follow something called control rotation, which means that the overall rotation of my player controller, which is the class that controls my blueprint, right? So let's get that control rotation. Here I will split it, or well, break it, and we have the X value, Y value, and Z value. Roll, pitch, and yaw. The pitch is whenever I'm moving from left to right, rotating. If I'm just rotating my head from left to the right, then that's a pitch. So that's what I will need for my movement input. But just so it's easier, instead of calculating like that, Unreal can give you like the actual direction that you need. You just need to ask, is this the, I can type right, get the right vector, just plugging it here, and now do I need to get the right vector? Oh yeah, I need to get the right vector and get the forward vector. This is the forward vector of the location of the camera. Now when I press place, W is still working like it should, and S is giving me the right vector of where my camera is looking towards. Now if I rotate my camera, W still, oh no, it's not giving me what I need. It's not following the camera rotation, it's following the control rotation. Okay, so Right, it's still following the rotation. This camera is not following the control rotation, so here use pound control rotation. Let's activate it, and let's modify that control rotation. Right, so I need the camera movement. For that, I should have started with the camera movement. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to test the movement. But okay, let's add the camera movement. I need for this not the mouse button, I need the mouse X, and here I need, oh, this is fine, I think so. Yeah, if it's not fine, I will swizzle it and then we'll see which one is fine. I add a new key, and this should be mouse Y. Oh, here I have the XY to the axis. Okay, I forgot that Unreal added that. Let's use this one. It's a lot easier. Mouse XY to the axis. Let's save it, and let's use it. In my Goblin, I'll add my input action camera movement. I have a 2D vector, so let's split it. And here I will add pitch, add controller pitch. This affects the control rotation. And I will add some yaw. Add controller yaw. Yaw is like moving your head from up and down. That's the yaw type of movement that the camera will do. The value here, X, should be the pitch, because X, if I move my mouse from left to right, so it should be the pitch, and the Y should be the yaw. If I press play, I'm getting the opposite result of what I was looking for. Yeah, so this is not what I wanted. How to fix it? You either negate this here, or swizzle it, excuse me, or here in your code you just replace the values, which should be fine. And you can also change the order. Don't forget to disconnect it, otherwise it's an infinite loop. And now we have it. The X will add yaw, and the Y will add pitch. Very simple. If at first you don't succeed, then at least you will succeed here. Now, I don't like it when this is inverted. I mean, for me this feels inverted. So in the Y value, I'll just multiply it by -1. And that's -10. That's not what I need. -1. Now it's how I like it. You can also do it here. I don't want to get too much into the enhanced input. Again, I already did a video on it. You can find it in our channel. And I can close that. So now that we have camera movement, if I move my camera to this side, and I keep pressing W, now I will still be going forward, because I'm using the control rotation. And if I'm moving right, I can strafe, and stuff is working like I want it to. So I'll make a pause here in the development, and I'll leave it here. So, oh, let me increase this. Talk to the sidebar, and find result, compare the result, just so we have a clear overall context of what I have done. So let me pause the clock, the development clock. Now I have the character. It's not perfect for sure, but it works. I have the controls and I have the camera. it's a very good starting place for a game. It really doesn't matter what type of game I'm doing, unless it switches completely maybe to a puzzle game and I don't really need a goblin, but at least for now it's fine. And let me save this map. In my July marketplace game, I should change the color of the folder so I can find it super easy. I call this maps and test map. There we go. Let me change the color of this folder. Set color. Something it's super obvious. Yeah, red could be. So let's check the comments, and also let me drink a sip of water. Okay, so what comments are there here? It says, it's nice to see that the monthly free assets are worth using. Usually they're super worth just getting them, just in case you really don't know what your usage of it will be. But at least there are 2 or 3 that are super useful every month. Is this a third-person game? Or, yeah, probably it will be a third-person game. Is this... we need a super like button. We have a super like or not? This will be uploaded to your channel, yes. While you're making this game, please explain the blueprint class you use and why the one is more suitable over the others. Example, inventory saving items, etc. Okay, just so I fulfill the request. Here, the blueprint is using a character class because it already comes with a capsule component, which is the collisions. Already comes with a character mesh that I forgot at the start, which is a skeletal mesh where we can add some animations. Right now the character doesn't have any animations. Probably that's what the next step should be. Or maybe not, because if I have gameplay and my character is in T-pose, I mean, it could work as a gag, as a joke game, right? A gag game. So maybe the animation I will try to polish it when I have something of some gameplay on it. Also, it comes, this character class, it comes with the character movement, and that allows us to just use these nodes that add movement input, and these nodes will be processed by this component. And with this component selected in the details panel, which I will enlarge here, I can modify a lot of the behavior, like the gravity scale, how fast do I want the character to move, how the jump will work, and a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm using the character and I'm not using the pawn class. And the game mode, it's probably what you will use in any type of game to define the rules of the game. Rules of the game is not just strictly the rules, also which character do I start with. Right now we're starting with a goblin. Which hat, if I have time I'll add a hat. Which player controller, a lot of stuff that define the starting place of the game, right? So yeah, these are the 2 classes that I'm using, and that's the explanation of why I'm using them. Can you explain again what the EMC player for? Okay, so the enhanced input system works. If you remember the last one you can find it here in the project settings, input, and here's the legacy system. You had action mappings and axis mappings. You no longer have this, you have input actions. An input action is just an action that you can map You don't need to declare which key you are mapping it to, because it could be a key, it could be a gamepad or whatever, but you are defining that this will be an action, and you will want to know if it's a digital type of action. This is usually whenever you press a button, you want to know if it's pressed or not. If it's an axis, if you want to get a value between -1 or 1. If there are 2 axes or 3 axes, usually 2 axes is for movement, like for the camera and for the come on, what else? The character and the camera. And 3D axis could be for motion controls, because you have up, down, forward, backward, side to side. Or also, if you map it to maybe the key to Z or and C or C to these keys to go upwards and downwards whenever you have a floating pawn, could also you could also use an axis 3D. It really depends on how you're planning to use your inputs, right? So these are the actions and how you're going to use those actions. But it's not like here, where you can also have, this will be digital type of actions, and this will be axis. And here you assign the keys, right? In this case, you don't assign the keys here. You assign the keys in the input mapping context. Here I have my keys. And why is it called a context? Because the context can change. During runtime, I can assign it this context, but maybe I enter a vehicle that I only need to press spacebar to fly. Then I can remove this context and add a new one to add the key that I need. Or I can add a new context on top of this one and add the key that I need. More on that video that I have been talking about, and I have not been linking you to that video, so probably I should do it. So here's the video. I have the, do I have the get shareable link? Here is the enhanced input video. Here it is. Okay, any other questions before continuing? Continues. This will be uploaded to YouTube. Yes, pitch is up and down and jaw right and left. Jaw, you've made me doubt myself. I thought Joe was right and left. Let's see. Camera, pitch, Joe. Here it is. Pitch. Yeah. Joe is right and left, and pitch is up and down. Roll is in the y-axis. Okay, so it's easier for me to remember if with your head you do like the yes type of and I could use my goblin actually. Where's my game? Where's my game? Oh, here it is. So this is the goblin, right? This is the head. If you do like the yes gesture, yes, this is pitch. If you do no, and I should probably use the word, okay, you do no, this is jaw. If you do maybe, this is roll. And that's how you can remember it. I said it right? Yes. Yeah, pitch. Yeah, pitch up and down. Yeah. And UI, I mean HUD for the game. Yeah, I may do some UI if I have some time. We'll see, because I'm already like at the 36-minute mark, and if I take longer, for sure I'll change the thumbnail and the title. Just a warning, and I'll change it. Create a game in 3 hours. I'll just put 2 hours because I didn't want to be sitting like 3 hours, but maybe it will happen. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue, because the stream says I've been streaming for like 1 hour and 18 minutes, but the development time, you are seeing it right here in this clock. Okay, we continue. Before we continue, let me see. Let me create a game plan, actually, to keep on track. It's a good place to start. So I want the character, main mechanic, enemies, endgame. Which, for the endgame, I want to kill all the enemies. That's just the main goal of this game. So I will need to find the enemies. The main mechanic is shooting something or doing attack that can damage the enemies. And the character is whatever I'm doing right now. Yes, that's my game plan. Super quick. Like, I mean, not every day you need to create a game in such short time. So yeah, I will probably have a more detailed one, but it's what I have. Okay, so press play. Let's continue. What I want to do now that I have my character and that I can move my character. Can I move my character? Is try to give it an attack. If I can, I'll try to search some Niagara effect that maybe I can use. Flower geometry painter. Is this helpful? Nope. I mean, I could use it as a projectile, but urban trails. Yeah, this could be it. This could be used as a projectile. Shockwave. Yeah. It could be. Effects. Number, old cartoon, number attack. Okay, no, I don't want that. Yeah, it's a bad idea that I didn't check which Niagara assets I had. Probably this will be my projectile, actually, if I don't find anything. Colors, figures, wings, splash, jets, maybe. Could also work. Come on, don't you have like an static kind of asset? Is this like super over the top with nothing really usable for me? Symbols. I mean, it could be fun to shoot hashtags, right? Why not? We'll see. This is probably the orb that I will shoot. And yeah, could be like a shooter, like a third-person shooter over the side of of the shoulder, right? Niagara weather hologram. I don't think will have anything for me. I didn't think so. We should the Earth ring. Could it be? Nah, it takes too much time to. I don't think it will look good. Fire portal. Could be useful, but yeah, I think this flower is actually better. Diffusion, come on. Oh man, super over the top. Portal, yeah, I'm not expecting much from anything. Otherworldly wormhole. Oh, and I'm a dummy. You can click here in Big Niagara Bundle and just search for Niagara system, and it will show you every Niagara system that you have in the folder selected or folders. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of. Yeah, this is fine. Let's test it. Let's see what happens. Come on. Let's continue. Okay, so I need a projectile. My goblin needs to shoot the projectile. So let's create a projectile. Let me remove these filters, but before I forget where this is, I'll create a collection with local collection usable assets. This is so I don't need to look for it every time I need to use it. Here it is. I can just drag and drop it to my collection, and now I have my collection and I don't need the filters. Yeah, it's very, very useful, the collections. Yeah, I'll come back and see more effects if this doesn't work out. Okay, so let me remove the filter and go back to my marketplace game. Go to core, and here I should create the projectile. So just in case I have more than one projectile, I'll create a blueprint class. I need to put something in the map, so an actor should be fine. Inside the actor I will control like the assets and the movement. So here will be my projectile. This projectile, I want it to move as a projectile, so let me add the projectile movement component. Here, if I click it in the details panel, I have an initial speed that I will change it to maybe to 2000. Max speed, I don't want to limit it, and for now I'll leave it like this. Just for now. Bounciness, no. I'll add the Niagara system that I had here. And I'll rotate it. The projectile should move forward in the X direction. If I can rotate this, hopefully, perfect. And it should look better like this. Yeah. Okay, so I have my projectile. Let's test it out. Let's go back here and drag and drop it to my level. This is the X direction, and to test it, we can click here. If I press play, it will work, but it will transport me to the player start, so I won't see the projectile. So I'll just press simulate. And maybe it was too fast for my eye. Yeah, there it went. The thing about it is that because the Niagara system needs to be created, I'm actually not seeing it, but this may not be an issue if I make it slower. Projectile movement, and I will change the gravity where it should be. Projectile gravity scale will be 0. I'm doing this just so the projectile doesn't fall to the ground. Yeah, there it goes. That's my projectile. Now, I don't want my projectile to go forever into the distance, right? So I'll assign it can I assign it a lifespan? Well, not here in the details panel of the projectile movement component, but in the event graph for sure I can do it. Set lifespan, and my projectile will live at most maybe 5 seconds, but I want to test it, so I'll put 1 second. Compile, and after 1 second it should disappear. Perfect. So let's see, let's try with 5 seconds. Let's play, and after 5 seconds should disappear. There it goes. Now the thing about this is that you will see that the effect dies immediately, and this looks horrible, right? So because I don't want that to happen, what I will need to do is actually make the projectile stop. So I'll just delay by, just to test it out, 1 second. After 1 second, this projectile will stop. Or do I have to do it like this? Stop. I don't remember if it was stop simulating or stop movement immediately. I'll use this one. Hit result. I'll just make a blank one. This is in the case it doesn't hit anything, right? And if I'm using this, then in functions I should be able to use the stop projectile, and it's here. Projectile component, projectile movement component, add event on projectile stop. And when it stops, I want my Niagara also to stop. Was it stop? No, it was enable, disable. No, activation. It was deactivate. And let's see if it's working. I'm not sure if it will work or not. Yeah, it worked. You see that the trail now fades away, which is looking a lot better. Yeah, that's a cool effect. I like that effect. Now, this only deactivated the Niagara system. So now, here I will set a lifespan to maybe 3. I'll give it 3 seconds to disappear, because if I just give it 1 second, the smooth transition will stop. Yeah. So yeah, 3 seconds should be more than enough. More than enough. Yeah, 3 seconds worked. Here I will give it 5 seconds. I will convert this to a variable, and this will be the projectile lifespan, or projectile max duration should be fine also. Right. Now, this delay will happen regardless of if my projectile collided with something or not. And I mean, it will mean that this, let's say it collided with something here, and after 5 seconds this will play again, which I don't really want. So instead of using a delay, I'll use a timer. Set timer. Should it set timer? Yeah. Should be. Timer. Set timer by event. The time will be the projectile max duration. Let me delete this. The event, I'll create event. Yeah, connect it like this. And here I'll create a matching event, which I created here, custom event. I'll rename it to projectile max duration reached, and I'll put this part of the code here. So when this timer finishes, this will play, this will stop simulating, and this will deactivate and delete my blueprint. Now, I want to stop this timer whenever this projectile on stop plays, because this will play also whenever the projectile hits something. And I haven't had a collision, but I will, don't worry about it. So I will create a variable for this timer. Timer lifespan duration reference. And this timer, now I have access through this variable, excuse me. Through this variable, I can access this timer, and here in the projectile stop, the first thing that I will do is deactivate the timer. So with this, to deactivate the timer is not actually deactivate, is clear and invalidate the timer. You can stop it also. Oops, this is not what I wanted to do. I closed my class. Okay, so which was the hotkey? There it goes. So this, you could stop it, but I want to clear and invalidate the reference, so this reference becomes a null reference. Yeah, so this is what will happen. It will still work like it's working right now, but I'm handling a possible issue that will happen in the future, right? Now let's add the collision, the default scene root. I'll add a sphere collision. And let's test if it's working. Let's test the collision by searching in the details panel the collision presets. Right now it's in overlap all dynamic. Because it's a projectile, I will change it to block all. Should it be block all? Yeah, for now, let's put it in block all. Compile, save it, and now, where's my projectile? This is my projectile. Let's press simulate. It's here. Now let me put a wall in front of it. That's my wall. Let's test it. Simulate. Okay, so it did collide. Oh, it didn't collide. What? Okay, it didn't collide. That's something that I need to fix immediately, because if it doesn't collide, then I won't be able to hit. So because it's not colliding, and I can double check if I go to on projectile stop, right click it and toggle a breakpoint or add a breakpoint, and if I press play, the breakpoint wasn't hit until the timer ended, right? So it means it didn't collide with nothing actually. So yeah, it's not colliding. Why is this happening? Because I put the sphere here. This sphere, if you want to use it with the projectile movement component, it needs to be the root of everything. So let me change the sphere to the default scene root. Now the sphere is the root of everything, and now it should take in consideration that that collision when the projectile is moving. So let's simulate, and it seems that it stops. So instead of using simulate, I will play. Did I remove the? Yeah, I removed the the breakpoint. F9 to add it again. Let's play. Okay, now it did collide. I'm 100% sure that it did collide. Perfect. Because with this collision, I can get an impact result, and I can know exactly which actor I'm colliding with. If I break this and hit actor, I could ask for it. I'll just create a sequence so I don't need to modify too much of the code on top, and I will print the hit actor. Let's press play. Cube. It's hitting an actor named Cube, and this is, if I select it, the actor named Cube. So I have access to whatever it hit, which is actually pretty cool. And this looks cool for an impact. Although I would need to modify it, yeah, just in case. Let me search it and let me put it in my collection, just in case. And let me delete this stuff. Okay, perfect. So I have a projectile. My projectile can hit stuff. The next step will be to actually use the projectile to have a key for me to click and use that projectile. But let me make a pause. Let me drink some water and answer some questions, because we have created a new class. Okay, there's not that many questions, so we can go forward. It says, is it easier to use projectiles or line trace? Okay, so it really depends. If your projectile will be like a bullet that goes super fast, and you may only see that, like the trail or just a flash, then using this projectile type of approach wouldn't make any sense. Unless you may want to, I don't know, take in account gravity, but you can fake that stuff like more easily by calculating the trajectory the trajectory of a bullet, and then you can include the gravity and the drop of the bullet. Yeah, if you're using bullets, this type of approach of using this projectile movement, yeah, doesn't make any sense. It's like too overkill for that. So yeah, you can do line traces for that for sure. In my case, I want like a spell type of projectile, so that's why I did it this way. Well, that's why I did it my way. Is there another question? Hello, I have a question. When it comes to assets, I have a weapon in Blender that I made. It has a texture effect with flames and such. If I want to import it to Unreal, would I have to redo it? You can import it as is, but really depends on the texture that you're using. I mean, if you want some interactivity in how your weapon will look, you will be not redoing it exactly, but you will need to create materials where you can input your textures so you can get some cool stuff. Yeah, so it's not redoing it, but you do need to do some extra work for it to look cool. Let me check if I have some messages. Seems I don't. So that's cool. What time is it? It's almost 12. Okay, I should get going. Okay, let's continue. Where's my... Okay, so we want to use the projectile. Clock. Let's go. To use the projectile, I need an action that I can do with my goblin. For example, left click and you shoot the projectile. So let's go back to the player AI camera. There's another comment. Can you give me a goofy gun idea? Oh, right now I'm out of ideas. Okay, let's continue. I need an input action. Input action. Fire, could be fire weapon or do attack. Attack. Let's call it ranged attack, just in case. And I'm not following my own naming convention, so let's do it. There it goes. The range attack I only want to press. I want to know if the button is pressed or not, so digital is good. Let's open again the mapping context, and this mapping context should include my range attack. The range attack should be my left mouse button, and that's pretty much it. Now, I don't want this to trigger every time I'm holding the key, so my trigger will be pressed. Should be pressed? Yes, pressed. I go in detail in the enhanced input system, but it means that whenever I press it, it fires only once. That's pretty much it. I'll close it. The projectile, not for now. The movement, yes. The game mode, yes. The goblin now has a new action. And it's the ranged attack. Trigger. When it gets triggered, let's just test it with a print string, with a hello. There it goes. Hello, 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 hello. Now, I want to create the projectile. So let's create it. Trigger. Create. Spawn. If you type create it, give you spawn. So spawn actor from class. I'll spawn the projectile. I need a transform on where do I want to spawn it, so let me just make a transform. If I leave it like this, it will spawn it in the world at the 0, 0, 0 coordinates, which is not what I want. I want to spawn it in front of me. Now I can calculate it, or I can create here a scene component. Did I create a scene component? A scene component, and I will put this scene component in front. I should use like a socket inside the character, but right now my character doesn't have an animation, so I won't use it. Okay, so I have this point, and from this point I will create the projectiles. So for now, let's call it projectile spawn location. And let's use it. Let's get the projectile spawn location. Let's get the world coordinates of this component. So get world location and connect it to the location. Let's see what happens. Let's press play. If I press click, am I creating? Okay. So I'm creating it, but it's colliding with my goblin. So that's an issue. What I can do here is set collision get sphere collision, and there was a way to set up the actors that I didn't want to collide with. Ignore actor when moving. Move ignore. Move ignore. Move. Yeah, ignore actor when moving. Here it is. And the actor will be self. Should ignore, yes. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, it's because it's being created and immediately being destroyed. There it goes. Now it's not colliding with my character. But it's not following the rotation of my character. So the rotation needs to change. I will want to get the control rotation actually. Yeah, the same code that we did here for the forward vector. Let's use it. Oh, I don't need to transform it. Can I plug it in? Just get control rotation and be done with it. Yeah, it actually worked. Yeah. So let me delete this part and this part. Okay, so now we have the projectile being spawned and ignoring my character. It will still collide with any other character. Okay, so now we have fixed that thing that was making our gun shooting backward, and I'm seeing that my camera is really not helping me. So let's modify it for it to be over the shoulder. Maybe here. Yeah, something like that. So broad the shoulders of this guy. Okay. Yeah, and with the animation we will see if we put it in this side, on the other side, whatever. Yeah, and we see that it's hitting stuff. Okay, perfect. So we have the actual come on, we have the actual character. It can run, it can move the camera, it can shoot. So with this, I mean, we can start adding animations, but still we don't have the complete game yet, right? So for now I will leave it like this. We can start making the enemies. And I don't know why, but my clock stops randomly. Okay, it should be fine, I believe. Okay, let me stop the clock. Let me see if there's any questions. Question: what's the overall hierarchy you think of when you start making this game? In other words, is there a roadmap for that? Yes, well, I explained it at the beginning. Depends on how much time do you have. If you don't have that much time, you just start with the player, character, and camera. Make it feel good, make it work. And I mean, it's good to have an overall genre. Yeah, okay. I always struggle with that word. It's good to know what type of game you want to make, but be open to any type of development that could make the game feel more fun. Yeah. And the roadmap I did is I will create the character, I will create the main mechanic, which is shooting. I will create the enemies now, and then I will worry about the end game. Just to say that, oh, you can finish this game, right? What I didn't put here is that if I have time, I will polish, which it will means animations, camera, sequencer, and maybe UI. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, but I believe we have a little bit of more time. Okay, let's continue. So we have the goblin, we have the projectile, we don't have enemies. And the enemies should be the same goblin, but with other attacks, right? So let's create the enemies. I'll reuse this class, I believe. It's actually a good starting point. Or no? Let me think. If I reuse it, will there? Yeah. The only problem I'm think that it would happen is that my characters will have the camera, like the AI will have camera that it will never use. Other than that, yeah, there shouldn't be actually any problem. Yeah, I know what I will do. I know. I'll create a base class now. I'll duplicate this. Should I duplicate this? No, I'll create a base class for my actual goblins. Character, no, goblins. Goblin. Let's not waste too much time here. Blueprint. I need a character for my goblins. This will be the. For now, I'll just call it Gob, because I want to rename this goblin to player goblin. Yes, player goblin. And my whenever you change a name, and assets may reference it, it's a good idea for here in the folder, right click and fix redirectors, just in case. Here this will be the actual goblin, and I will need to copy and paste a little bit of stuff. The mesh, this is the goblin. I'll copy and paste the attributes of this goblin. Where were they? This one. And I'll paste it here. Oh, I can't paste it. Well, it was minus 70 and this was minus 90. The capsule was 69, nice, and 34. There we have it. We have it almost exactly the same except for the camera, which is what I needed. Now with this in place, I will make my player goblin a child class of this, just so I don't need to redo some animations and some stuff, right? If I add animations to this, then the other goblin will have it. So let's player goblin, go to class settings. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. Let me save everything. No, let me save all. Class settings, parent class, this will be the goblin, blueprint goblin. And it did it. Yeah, it didn't change that much because it was, both of them were characters. So let me save everything. My game mode should be using the player goblin. Perfect, play. And everything's still working. Okay, perfect. Now we can continue. The blueprint, this goblin, what it will do is move around and attack me. If I want stuff to move around, I need my my character, my AI, to know the actual map. So we can give it that information, and I will create one of these goblins here. We can give that information to all of our AI if we use this this actor called nav mesh bounce volume. So let's put it here, and we may not see anything, but if I press the key P, now we will see this green type of stuff, and I do need to make this a little bit bigger so it covers all my map. And whenever I create another map for the gameplay, or if I use the other map, which I don't think I will because it's crashing the stream, so I'll just drag and drop a few assets. Then now you see everywhere where my character can walk on, and I will put this a little bit downward so I don't see the nav mesh on top. So everything that is green, my character sees it and knows that I can that it can walk towards, right? So let's just press P so we don't have that green stuff. And now we have solved the nav mesh, the navigational mesh part. So now this character knows its environment without seeing it. Right. So now let's add some behavior. Immediately I will go to behavior trees. I believe it will speed up my AI development. I'm sorry, I have not done an AI fundamentals class. I'm working on it, but this will be like a little sneak peek. So for AI to work, an AI controller needs to control this. So let's create that. blueprint class, all classes, AI controller. This will be like the brain that will send the inputs to my blueprint goblin, to my AI. So AI controller, select. I'll call it AI controller goblin. Right now it will not have anything for now. I only want to go to the goblin and assign it as the AI controller by default. So where is my let's go to class defaults and here search for controller, AI controller class. This will be my AI controller goblin. That's it. Now my AI controller will control this goblin. You will see that my player goblin will also have this AI controller, if I can find it easily. I cannot. Here it is. But because we are possessing it as a player, it won't matter. If for whatever reason it does matter, we can just remove it here and be done with it. And just to be safe, I'll leave it like this. I'm removing that. I'm overriding that base value in my player goblin. So again, in our goblin, we are controlling it by the AI controller. Perfect. Now we need to start thinking about the action this goblin can do. So this will be here in our behavior tree. So AI, artificial intelligence, behavior tree. We'll call it behavior tree goblin, and the behavior tree will take decisions based on data, and that data needs to be stored somewhere, and that's why we need to create a blackboard. A blackboard will be like the memory of the AI. The behavior tree will be like the decision making, and the AI controller is the brain that is making us use that decision making and storing the memories of the enemy. So here, good idea, blackboard. Let's call it goblin. Goblin. So if I double click my behavior tree, and I will have now here the blackboard that I just created. Otherwise, I won't be able to click here on the blackboard. And this happens because I created the behavior tree with this name and the blackboard with the same name, but with this change of nomenclature. Instead of BT, we use BB. Perfect for now. So let's go to the behavior tree. This is a tree of decisions. So if I want my character to stay idle, then we can use the idle, an idle type of functionality, which it's called wait. But I can't do it because first I need to use a type of composite node, which I have selector, sequence, and simple parallel. The first one that we will learn is selector. A selector will select an action, and it will use the first action that is successful. So if I'm using a wait node, wait for 5 seconds, it's going to select this action, try to do it, try to wait, and if it can, then perfect. Now, if it couldn't wait, I could add another action here, another task. Like, for example, make some noise. So if I can't wait, I will make noise. But if I can wait, the selector will not try to do this task. It will be something like this, because this was successful. So a selector tries to do a task until it finds the first successful task. In my case, waiting should be fine because it's an idle. So let's call it just idle. The node name will be idle wait. But before waiting, I want my goblin to maybe patrol. It's either that or immediately go towards the player, which should, yeah, I will go towards the player and attack it. If I have time, then maybe I can add a patrol, and then maybe I can define, oh, the character is close enough, I should go and attack him. Yeah, let's keep it super simple. I mean, I only have 40 minutes of development. Okay, so let's go towards the character. And if you can't find the character, we just wait. So going towards the character and attacking it will mean that we know what character we are dealing with, right? So first we need to find a character. And because finding the character and attacking it is a multiple step action, you will need a new type of composite, which is called a sequence. A sequence will do all the actions these are called child nodes, because the sequence is a child of a selector and the selector is a child of the root. The idle wait is also a child of the selector. So the sequence will play all its childs until one of them fails. Or if one of them succeeds, then everything succeeds. In my case, the sequence is go towards my player and attack it. So there is a task called move to. So I will move towards an actor, and then I will play an animation that it will be my attack animation. Play animation. Just like this. If I don't find my actor, then I won't be able to play an animation, so the sequence will eventually not play if I can't reach it, right? So this is the basic type of logic that my AI will follow, right? Right now it won't do anything because I have not selected which actor. I have not selected the animation I want to play with my goblin, so yeah, nothing will happen. But this is just a basic stuff for creating an AI type of behavior, right? So we need the information of which actor do I want to follow or do I want to move towards, right? So in the blackboard, I need to create a new key for my character. So target actor. This target actor object, the key type will be a character. And there we have it. We have a target actor now. Now in the behavior tree, we can move towards the target actor. Blackboard key, target actor. And the animation, I should probably look towards a good animation. My goblin will have... There wasn't a slash that was better. Yeah, this slash is fine. And I will put it toward my usable assets. Okay. Animation to play, slash. It's not going to loop, it's non-blocking. And just to make sure I'm looking towards the actual character, there is, I believe there was rotate to face blackboard entry. So I'll face the target actor. Can I do it like this? No, I cannot. Target actor. So now we have this sequence that is go to player and attack it. So I will go to the player, and this is going to try to move me toward the target actor, but if I have not defined the target actor, I shouldn't enter here, because everything depends on the target actor. So I need to validate it. Right click, and for that there exists something called decorators. This will be a blackboard type of decorator, just to know if the actor, not the self actor, the target actor is set. If it is set, then this will let me enter the go to player and attack routine, move me towards the target actor. If for whatever reason I can't reach it, then this fails, and then I go back to idle. And let's have it like this. So if this ends up failing, like, oh, I can't reach it, then this fails, and the selector is always looking towards something that it can do. So if this fails, then I'll go to idle wait. If for whatever reason we can attack it, so we go here, we reach the actor, we rotate towards it, and then we play the animation, this means that this was successful and this was successful. So because the first node was successful, then because this is a selector, all the nodes after them won't be taken in consideration. And again, I will do a video that will go more in depth on AI, like the traditional route without behavior trees, then the route with behavior trees, and also with the environment query system. But for now, this is just like a super little sneak peek for this type of behavior. Let's pause it. No, let's make it work so I can answer any type of questions, and I will read the chat in a moment. I'm just reading it like at a glance, just to see if is the stream ended or not, because like 40 minutes ago it stuttered and the stream was completely frozen and I had a little heart attack. Okay, so we have the behavior tree. We need to use the behavior tree. We can go to the AI controller, and in the class settings here, can I use the behavior tree? No, I have to set it up. Okay, so in the begin play, I will just type behave. Okay, there's a run behavior tree, and I will select my goblin, but I also need the blackboard. Use blackboard. I want to use my blackboard goblin, and from there I want to use the behavior tree. Now, I may not want to run it immediately. I'll just add a delay here. No. A normal delay of 1 second. Because before running the behavior tree, I want to set up my player. So I'm going to get the... Should I do it here? For now, I will do it here, then I can clean it up. Get player character and in the blackboard set blackboard, well, get blackboard, set value as object. The object will be my character, and the key name, I'll make a literal name, will be the same name I assign it here, which is target actor. This is a way that we can set these keys. These keys will be empty at the start, so that's why in the AI controller I'm setting... Did I not copy this? There it is. I'm setting the key, and after setting it, I will wait 1 second and then I will run the behavior tree. So I'll have it just like this. We set up the blackboard, we set up the target actor value to our character, or well, to the character we are controlling, and then we delay it a little bit and run the behavior tree, which means that we'll run this behavior, like go to the player and attack it, or wait. Now let's see if it's working. This is a goblin. This is my character, and it is going towards me, and when it finds me, it's attacking me. Now it's getting too close to me, and I don't like that. In the move to, the acceptable radius will be 100, maybe 200. Let's just see if this works. Yeah, it's too much. 100, I believe, was fine. Come to me. Yeah, a little bit closer. I haven't added a weapon yet, so yeah, that's another issue. Yeah, and it works correctly because I don't want actually to follow me if I rotate too quickly. Perfect. This goblin shouldn't be that fast, so I'm gonna go to the goblin, gonna go to character movement, and here in walking, walk speed 600. I'll put it at 300, but this will mean that in my player goblin I don't need to change it back to where's my walking max walk speed. This will be 600. So my goblin, AI goblin 300, player goblin 600. So I'm faster than him. Perfect. Fine. Excellent. So we have that. I'll press the development timer so we can answer some questions and see the chat. We have something going right. We have the character, we have the projectile, we have the goblin. We just need to do some damage and create the map, and then we can worry about the animations. Yeah. Okay, so let's read the comment. Let's put the clock here. Right there. What haven't I read? Is there a way to get the camera to ignore particles that get too close to it so they don't get in the way? I'm not really sure. That could be a question for our VFX artist, but maybe. I'm not sure. There probably is. Questions. What I meant earlier in terms of class and which govern the others and how they are stitched together, because this is my problem. I know the parts, but I failed to make the game. I could probably do a video on the framework. You will want to look at the gameplay framework to know how every class is or should be working together. I mean, the gameplay framework of Unreal is really not mandatory, but it's super helpful if you use it. Particle system, you can check particle distance to camera and fade it based on it. Yeah, I knew there was something that you could do with the particles and the camera. Let me see if I can help a little. Basically, it needs to move or be controlled like a player character or AI. Then you move the class. You can use the pawn for moving. Not a question. Behavior trees are a bad design pattern for event-based game systems. I mean, it really depends on the type of game and on the type of enemy and the quantity of enemies. If you have a lot of enemies, behavior trees get super heavy and for no reason. So yeah, You shouldn't use them if you're going to create like maybe, I mean, if you're going to have more than maybe 50 AI, could get really heavy to use behavior trees. But they are super useful if you want to do some complicated stuff, which this is not by any means complicated stuff, but you could add more complex like behaviors based on stuff that the player do. It's easier to do it here than just in code. I mean, in code you can also do it, but it can get a little bit complicated because you will have a long line of nodes of logic trying to check whatever this also is checking. So yeah, it depends if you want to see, like, you can't really say, oh, they're a bad design pattern, and that's it. It really depends on the game. Monster Ant says, is it 2 hours now? Yes, it's like streaming is like 2 and almost 2.5 hours, but this is very important. It is not development time because I have been answering questions and doing an intro, which also took time. So actually, we are at 1 hour and 31 minutes. Sphere Stress, thank you for everything you've shared. I will begin my development journey with the PC parts that arrive. Yeah, nice. It's so good to find that a lot of people are encouraged to start this game development journey. Hello, if I want a flashlight holding animation, where can I find it? Probably in the marketplace. I mean, you can make it yourself, but if you want to for it to work in the walk, idle, and run, it's a matter of blending the animations. Like, oh, I just want to blend the animations that are on top of the waist, so that uses the flashlight animation. And from the waist below, I want the walk and idle animation. There is an Unreal tutorial, I believe, that covered that. I'm not sure. If I can't find it in 1 minute, I will stop looking for it. Animation. Punch. No, this wasn't it. Document. Was this it? There was a video where you were punching stuff. So the animation, locomotion based blending or layered animations. Was it this one? Blend space to blend between jogging and walking. No, this is just blend space stuff. I mean, you could use aim offsets also. Yeah, aim offsets. You can create like animations for holding the flashlights and then just doing an aim offset of that. And this is exactly also the I'll just leave it in the link in the chat. I mean, I know it says 4.25, but it should work the same way. It's the same. They even left the same video. Okay, let's continue to see if there is any other comment. Okay, perfect. Let's continue with the game under 2 hours. So the next step is a death animation because I want to kill my enemies. Play. Okay, so thus far we have this. We have an enemy that follows you, we have a projectile, and I want to do some damage to the goblin. And I could make it like a one-shot, but that will mean that my projectiles will need to have some time of cooldown, or I can add life, some life to the goblin. And I don't know if I have an animation for hits. I have a die animation, that's true. Do I have a hit animation? I believe I don't have a hit animation. Because I don't have a hit animation, then I will one-shot these goblins. And then I will try to tweak the level difficulty, right? So let's get some damage. In the projectile, and I don't need the AI controller for now. Let me save everything. In the projectile, whenever it hits something, it stops. Here is when it stops. When it stops, I want to add some damage to the actor that I hit. So instead of just printing the string, in the hit actor, I will add damage. Or apply damage, that's the correct. I will apply the point damage. Maybe I can do some crazy stuff with that, but apply point damage or any damage, it will work. For now, I'll just apply point damage. Hit from direction. This is the direction where I hit from. If I want the hit info, this is the hit info. The direction will be can I calculate the direction between two? Get unit direction from the trace start, from the trace end. That's the direction of the hit. That's pretty much it. Event instigator. This is the controller that was responsible of the projectile. This is useful whenever I want to know who did the damage. In my case, I don't, so I won't complete it. The damage causer is the actor that actually caused the damage, is self. And the base damage, I'm just going to put 1. As long as this is not 0, the damage event, the receive damage event will trigger. And it's just 1 because the goblins will be one-shotted, so I won't bother too much about this. The damage class, I don't have a use for it right now, so let's just connect it like this and arrange it. Perfect. Now I'm adding damage. So now I have to receive some damage. In the goblin, that is our base class, I will have the point damage, event point damage. I mean, it's not necessary to have the parent here, but I'll just keep it just in case. It is auto-created by the blueprint assist blueprint. And you can create it by just right-clicking and there should be an add call to parent function. Here you have it, if you want to add it. Okay, so point damage. What do I want for my goblin to do? Well, very simple. I want it to die. So I need to have a variable, and I want that is dead. Because if it's dead, it shouldn't attack or it shouldn't do anything. It should be a boolean, and I will create a an event. Excuse me. and I will call it dead. If it's dead, then I want to set my variable to true. If this blueprint receives damage, then immediately dead. It could be kill. Yeah, it should be kill. Kill goblin. I don't know why I keep putting the G at the end. Okay, kill goblin. So if it receives damage, my goblin is dead. This means that my AI should stop working. So in the AI controller, I should try to connect an event to this kill goblin event, so I can stop the behavior tree. The way I'm going to do that is here in the functions. I will use the onPossess one, and here in onPossess I will check who is the possessed pawn. I will cast it to the goblin, and this should be like that, like this. Cast it to the goblin, and I will bind an event to the death event. Now I want to broadcast that the goblin died, so I need a dispatcher. Event dispatcher on death, and I want to trigger this event dispatcher when my goblin is killed. So I'll call it here, call on death. This allows me that on my AI controller I can bind on death, bind event on death. Here I can create an event, and I will select a batching event and on possess pawn death. Whenever the event inside the blueprint goblin triggers, I'll play this event, this pawn death event, and here I will stop the behavior tree, and I don't have access to it, and I don't know why is that. AI controller stop brain. It was with the brain component. Get brain stop logic. There it is. Reason, we can say death, and this is the logic to stop the behavior tree whenever my character dies through a blueprint communications through an event dispatcher inside my goblin. So let's test it. Play, and it stopped. Now we should play an animation, and I will do it super quick. Now I do need an animation blueprint. Here I'll search for the goblin, right click on it, create animation blueprint. I'll move this animation blueprint towards my goblin folder. Move here. This animation will be used here. Oh great, I can't drag and drop it. Let's just call it animation blueprint goblin. No. Just like this, and I will use it here. I'll open it. I'll create an idle pose, but then I need to go to the death animation. So let me create a state machine. State machine. This will be the locomotion state machine. Inside it, there will be an idle state, which also will be the idle movement. and there needs to be a death state. We can enter the death state if inside here I create a variable called isDeath, and whenever this is true we enter. And I'm doing it super quick because I have 20 minutes left. When I pause the video and I can do some explanation, if you want to know more about it, we have a video in our channel. And let's continue. Here in the death pose, I didn't save it in my usable assets. Oh, come on. We have two poses, so let's just random between them. Let's randomize. I have the pose A, pose B. Set stream, no. I'll just blend pose. Blend pose. How was it? So long that I haven't. Bible. There we go. Okay, blend poses by bool. This boolean value will be a random value. Random bool. So now we should have a random. It's a thread. It's not thread. Oh, come on. For now, let's just leave it like that. I can add the randomness later. I mean, disable thread update. Let's leave it like this. So this should enter whenever we die, but we need to fill this variable that we created inside this blueprint. So let's go to the event graph. Let's cast to my goblin. Let's get death. Get is dead, and we set it up like this. And yes, yeah, play. Yeah, we have it. Perfect. So whenever the goblin dies, I want its capsule to be no longer affected by the collision. So here I'll do something like this sequence. Is that capsule set collision response to channel, and the channel of the projectile should be projectile. Right now here I'm using block all and it's world static, so I'll just custom it, and I'll just there isn't an object type, so let's create our own object type here in the project settings, collisions, object channel, new channel, projectile, and block. Now in our projectile, where's our projectile? Let's go to custom world settings. If it's not here, let's compile projectile. Perfect. And back to my blueprint goblin, the channel. Oh, I don't have it here. Compile to the projectile, ignore, and also to another pound, because if I'm walking around, I do not want to get stuck in this capsule component, which is where is it? Collisions, pound. So let's copy and paste this. and in channel pound also ignore. So now I should kill it, and then my projectiles oh. These projectiles shouldn't overlap other projectiles. Ignore. Projectiles, ignore projectiles. Yeah, now we're cooking. Yeah, because my projectile was slow. Perfect. Now, if I wanted the random death, I could on here init. Come on. Where can I get the event? Blueprint begin play initially say initialize animation. Begin play. In the begin play, I don't actually know if this works or not, but in the begin play I can do this and get again the on death, assign on death, and here I will randomize the number. It will be an integer random death anim and random integer in range. The minimum will be 1. Oh, excuse me, will be 0 and 1. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And with this random death anim that will trigger every time one dies, here in the death, instead of blending poses by bool, I will blend it by an integer, pose 0 and pose 1, and I can do it like this. Compile. Now we don't have that pesky error. Play, and if it dies, now it can play a different animation. See, now we are getting random animations. Perfect. Now we have that. Let me pause, stop on the development. Let me save everything. And this is my development timer. Let's see if someone asks something. Can you make a game in Fortnite in 2 hours? I mean, you can do anything in any amount of time, but doesn't really mean that it will be good. But a game, sure. Will this sell though? Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, it's a good idea to have the skills to make something quick, just to prototype stuff, and even though this game wouldn't sell, it's a starting point to polish it, to make it better, to develop a little bit more of game design skills. Because, oh, I can one-shot every goblin I see. It means that the game will be super easy unless I put a lot of goblins, or maybe I can balance it out by making my projectiles a charge projectile. So I need to hold the key. So I'm holding it, and this will make it like even more. I mean, if I created lore, or you can one-shot the goblins because you are doing a charged attack, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, you will need to try to make it work. Can you code in Fortnite 2.0 burst language? I mean, you can. I mean, I probably couldn't do it in a stream because I've been learning it little by little, the burst language. I mean, but it's not that different to other programming language. It does have a lot of cool stuff that comes with it, but if you understand logic and you have the experience of working, I don't know, with another type of low-level language, or even high level, shouldn't take that much time to understand that new language. How long have you doing this for? Maybe 7 years or more. I believe it's more than 7 years. Stop trolling, you're not funny. I don't know if you're talking to me, but I'll keep trolling, don't worry. Hola, says Josu, or Josu. Hey there, my name is Jess. I am also a game developer using the Unreal. Great going. Yeah, let's keep using it. It's a lot of fun using Unreal. I mean, the stream right now is almost 3 hours. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's easy to forget to stand up and stretch a little bit, which I'm actually doing right now. I'm using this pause to do exactly that. And again, I'm doing the game in 2 hours. Here's the clock. When I'm not developing stuff, the clock ends. Or when I'm explaining stuff, because I mean, people want to learn. It just so happens that I like to teach. Do you recommend a tutorial video or a series for beginners in Unreal Engine 5? Yes, we actually did exactly that. We have in our webpage the game dev quests, which is a cool part of our website that Mao took a lot of time into crafting, where it actually puts all our tutorials that we have in our YouTube page. Everything here is free, by the way, and you can select your tier. I mean, if you're starting, Unreal 5 Foundation will take you to our videos that teach you exactly that, the foundations of Unreal. So I would start here in the introduction to Unreal Engine 5.1 for sure. If you want the link, I'll give you the link here. And we have all our other tutorials also in this page. So yeah, it's a great resource to learn. And if you want to go towards, oh, maybe I want to learn VFX, materials and VFX, and here I have materials, create a near automata orb, the Blizzard environments, yeah, a lot of stuff. Can you save this stream, please, for watching it later? Yes, this stream will be saved, don't worry. I mean, a lot of people will see, oh, you didn't create the game in 2 hours. It's like, yeah, but the stream, I mean, I wasn't developing the entire 3 hours of the stream. Could you help me with something, please? I'm having an issue with my Unreal Engine 5 series, blurry textures and no audio when preview the audio before adding. This type of requests, it's very useful for you to put them in our Discord server. Here we have we have the pro group for our pro members, which are the members that have the course. If you don't have the course, our action game course that you can find in our pinned comment, you will get access to this part of the channel, which is the general stuff where we can discuss anything, or the support general, which actually have some stuff, which is people just asking stuff, and if I'm free and with energy, I'll answer, or maybe one of our pro group members can also answer. So yeah, here is where you should put any type of technical questions. It helps a lot if you attach images. I mean, 2 or 3 should be fine. I believe we have a bot that deletes your comment if you put too many images, but I'll see if I can disable that, but okay. Anything else before continue? Hey, will you implement a proximity voice chat? For sure, no. Proximity voice chat, one, you will have to do the voice chat stuff. I don't really know if Unreal support that. Maybe they do. They have an easy way to implement that. But then you also need to check implement the multiplayer part, right? Because if you can't communicate with another player, then why would you have a voice chat? Which doing stuff in multiplayer in Unreal can be a little stressful and can be a little confusing. So it's a good idea to have the fundamentals first. If you can create a single player game, then you can later change it to multiplayer. I mean, if you're doing a multiplayer game and you know what you're doing, for sure just start it by being multiplayer. It will be the best way. But if you don't, it will be a nice experience to try to translate a single player game to a multiplayer one. So no, I won't be doing any type of proximity voice chat. Unreal is a mystic program. With one of or few hand moves, it is possible to break everything in your project. Yeah, it's true. It's true, but by breaking stuff, you're learning more than by not breaking stuff. I should have a link to the Discord. You can check in the description of this video if I have a link. If I don't, then I'm watching. Creating a game, join now. Okay, it's here. Join our community. Where is the chat? Here it is. Okay. I was searching some help or some tutorial for implementing a proximity voice chat for my project. There is no working tutorial for. Yeah, it sounds complicated. Good luck in your search. I don't know. I haven't worked in that specific scenario, so I haven't even searched for that. Okay, let's continue. Where was I? Okay, I have 10 minutes left. I need to create the. Let's see my plan. Yeah, and probably I will leave it super bare bones, and then I can do another stream where I decorate and polish a lot of the mechanics I'm creating here, or the animations. Yeah, that will be actually a pretty good idea. But probably I can ask Mao to create a map for it. Yeah, that would be fun. So I'm here, right? I already created the character. I already created the main mechanic, which is shooting. I have the enemies working. They can attack me. They cannot do damage to me. That's a problem. And I need the end game. The end game was basically when I kill all the enemies, then the game ends. That's pretty much it. So yeah, that's what I will add, just so we really stick to the 2 hours. And I'll add the end game, and then I will add the enemies that can do damage. Yeah, so Yeah, the stream is already 3 hours long, I know, but I've been doing intros and I have been explaining stuff, so whenever I'm not developing, whenever I'm seeing the chat, I pause the clock. So this is actually the development time that I have been touching the project. So yeah, it's 2 hours, but if you want the explanation, I'll probably try to put timestamps so you can skip the explanation and really do it in 2 hours. But yeah, that's the rules of the game that I explained at the start of the stream. So yeah. Is an implementation as example of voice command in game very hard? Usually you want to use like third-party libraries for commands, and this means that you have, I don't know, voice command Unreal Engine. There probably should be Whisper real time. So there is already a technology that has it, real-time speech recognition. This means that there's something, Whisper real-time, another technology that you need to integrate into the engine. If it doesn't have support to Unreal, you may need to work in C++ to give it support. But yeah, that's how you usually would approach that type of development. Okay, let's continue. Time's running. And in one part of the development, my clock was stuck, so I really don't know if this 2 hours development or not. Should be, but I'm not sure 100%. Just in case someone takes the time to actually time it, it should be around this time. Maybe 5 minutes or less or more, something like that. Okay. So for now, let's not touch the animations. Let's not touch the AI controller. Maybe let's not do it. Behavior tree, projectile, yes. Goblin, yeah. So after this, what I forgot to do is set the lifespan to another 5 seconds, just so whenever I actually kill the goblin, after 5 seconds the body disappears, right? Yeah, there it goes. The body disappeared magically. Perfect. So what do I need to do? I need to check if I have killed all the goblins. That's what I need to do first. So because I'm entering like the end game, all the rules of the game should be handled in the game mode. So here in the game mode, I'll open it, edit goblin game mode. I have the player goblin, and here first I need to check which goblins are in existence. So let's do that. Okay, so there are a lot of ways of doing this, right? I can just get all actors of class and get my goblin class. With this, I can get the size, which is the count, which is the length. Always forget that it's called the length. And here, this should print 1. It prints 2 because this goblin, my player, also is using the same class of the goblin, right? It's a subclass of the blueprint goblin. That's why it's returning 2. So a way we can get around this is by going to the class default, go to attack, and in actor, does this work actually? I can put enemy and here in get all actors of class, all actor of class with tag, and the tag is enemy. Blueprint goblin. And I'll replace this like so. Compile. This player goblin, I need to remove the tag enemy. I can replace it to player. And now, if I press play, I should have 1. That's one way of handling it. Just getting all actors of class. The other way is for each goblin to add itself to a counter in the game mode, which is what I would actually prefer. Right? But because I don't have that much time, I'll just use get all actors of class. And I will have a variable called total enemies and enemies defeated. So total enemies will be the total of the enemies we have found out through the get all actors of class tag. Now, some people take this node as the Antichrist or as the devil. I mean, it exists for some reason, so you can use it. It's really not that heavy. What you really shouldn't do is put this node in a tick. That should kill your performance. But if you are using it, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong, actually. I just don't like it that much because if in the begin play our characters weren't created, then this won't take it in consideration. What I would prefer to do is here in the goblin, in the begin play, when this get created, get access to the game mode and then add to the counter of total goblins. But I won't do because I would need to add some validation and will take more time, and I have 5 minutes left, so let's do this. Get all actors, and for each actor, here for each, I'm gonna bind assign on death so my event creates immediately. Create event on death event. Okay, so we have it like this. We get all the enemies, we get how many of them are they, and we bind the event on death to this on death. So whenever an enemy dies, then I will up the counter of enemies defeated. It's a plus means that you will add 1 to this value, and then if this is more or equal to the number of enemies, I'm just giving it greater or equal just in case this triggers twice for some reason. I don't know, which I should actually validate here in the goblin. Kill goblin, this should only happen if I'm not dead. So if I'm not dead, I set it as death, I change the response channel, colon death, validated. If I'm here, death, if it's greater, it shouldn't be greater, never, but just in case. You don't want your game to get blocked or stuck just because of a little mistake here. So if it's here, then I win. The game ends. Game custom event game, win game. And what this should do is create a little message, which I'm going to create. User interface, widget blueprint, user widget, widget blueprint, win message. And this will be panel, canvas panel, text, anchor it to the middle, increase the font size, and put it to the middle. And this will be size to content, and my text will be you win. And I'll just duplicate this with Ctrl D. You killed everyone. Hope you had fun. There, an encouraging win message. So we need to make it appear. So here, if this is true, we have killed all the enemies. So we should go to win game, and in win game we should create a widget, and in widget we put our win message, and we need to add it to the viewport, otherwise we won't be able to see it. So let's test it out. Let's press play. There it is, and yeah, it's not scaling properly, but there it is. Yeah, just in case, I'll reduce the size of this. There we go. Could you call this a game? Maybe. There is no challenge, but I have 5 seconds left of this game. I mean, it's not that challenging. We could add a lot of these dudes. I mean, it's challenging enough because I don't have a crosshair, but I can spam, so it's really not that challenging. But I can win. I can't lose, but at least I can win. So yeah, that's making a game in 2 hours. Now you can say, oh, it's looking like shit, and yeah, it is, but we can as easily enter the map that we had for our marketplace free asset of the week. And if this, let me know if the stream stutters because I opened this map. Just in case, I'm going to put my settings, scalability settings, to medium. This should make it a little bit more easy. So now that I have a map, I could decide where do I start. Maybe I want to start here. So player start here. Bad size because it was overlapping the floor. I want to look here, and now I could start adding all the goblins that I want. Like so. And if I press play, and hopefully this doesn't crash the stream, this should still be working. I mean, they're not gonna move because I didn't put my nav mesh, which I was just forgetting. This is enough mesh. This gives like the information of the map to my AI. If I press P, the green places is where they can move around. Cool, right? So if I press play, come on, don't crash, don't crash. Oh no. Yeah, I believe it's too much. Or no? They are working in this. There it is. I won, and it's not looking that bad. Hopefully the stream didn't hang in that part, but yeah, I would call it a game for sure. I mean, the only thing that I didn't do is whenever the goblins attack me, yeah, they should kill me. But I would probably do an stream and another stream where I start polishing this little game, like adding animations, worrying a little bit more on game design, and maybe create a map that is not this heavy using these assets. Could be like a good experience for me also. So let's read the comments and then we will end, because this stream is right now 3 hours and 40. But again, our development time stopped here because I have been answering questions, and you know the spiel. Okay, so questions. Audio loader of your video always break stuff and try to reveal. Yeah, that's the way. Can you use Cloud 2 sometime to AI generate C++ code and try to implement it in the game? I could. I mean, in this channel I haven't touched C++ because it's super oriented to beginners, and if you try to teach logic plus a scripting language, then it gets super complicated for no reason. So that's why blueprints, I mean, you can easily see the logic without worrying too much about that syntaxis, or because in C++ it's like, oh, I missed a comma, or I missed a semicolon or something like that. So yeah, for now C++ is off the table. I do want to create a tutorial for it, but maybe not using AI tools, because sometimes they can make it a little bit more tricky to work with. What video card I need for made this game? Can I run Unreal Engine with GTX for made 3 games? I used to run a 970. I mean, depending on what card you have. I mean, these marketplace assets and most marketplace assets want to give you the best quality, so they will give you like a super heavy map, but you can work around it by removing textures, geometries, and materials that make this foliage. So yeah, you can run games with the video card you have, but not all games. Right now I'm running, I don't even know what I'm running. What am I running? Nope, that's not it. Oh, and I believe in most of our latest videos there should be like recommendations that you can use whenever you check what PCs to buy. Is an NVIDIA 370, I believe, but I don't know if it's TI or not. It is 3070 Ti, and it still struggles with the heavier examples of Unreal. So yeah, Unreal can consume a lot of video, but this shouldn't discourage you for using Unreal to create games. There are a lot of stylized games, a lot of 2D games that use Unreal, and you don't really need like a super computer to create or to run those. I tried made some personal mode single player with character from the world. Yeah, it's just a matter of sitting down, opening Unreal, and let your imagination free. And whenever you don't know how to do something, looking at the internet is a great way of learning. Or you can ask also in our Discord channel. If I'm there, if I can answer, I will answer. How do I learn Blueprint? Did you follow any specific playlist or anything? I used to keep like a playlist, but those playlists are for Unreal 4. So, I mean, it kind of works, but there are better content now. So I stopped like archiving the videos that I saw. So if you want to learn blueprints, we have this cool webpage called UNF Games, and here we have the Game Dev Quest, which I will link again, where you can pick and choose what do you want to learn. You can choose. We wanted to create like a skill tree, but our web design abilities weren't up to the task. So what we could create is, we have these levels. You want foundations in Unreal Engine 5? Oh, click here, you will get the foundations. You can start in this introduction to Unreal Engine 5.1. You want blueprint fundamentals? We already have those here. And I want to add a third one here that deals in the gameplay framework, because a lot of people lately have been asking for that. So yeah, there are a lot of quests that you can select. We wanted to create like, oh, here's your daily quest, but again, our web dev skills weren't up to the task. So yeah, you will be having a lot of materials, and these are all the videos that you can find in our YouTube page, but it's in a way more organized presentation. Yeah, and if you want to learn with us and you want to have, I believe every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we have a private live stream. You can get our course, our action game Unreal course. I already showed it at the start, but I told you, I warned you, I will do this promo again at the end. And it's a hack and slash type of game, but it's actually more like an action RPG.
Is your dream?
Let me mute that. So we are teaching sequencer, we are teaching the framework, movement, how to set dress a map, decorate the map, and you don't need really any type of previous experience. We are going, where is it? What will you learn? You will learn the editor, how to create a project, how to create interactive components, character locomotion, enemies, VFX. We even go a little bit into the audio part, the user experience. UI, this is the last model that we have just added. I don't know if we made promo for that, but I hope we do. And more visual effects, and a combat skill system, and attack system. And you not only get that, you also get all our previously paid courses. You get the fundamentals, master how to code with blueprints. Where are the bonus? I thought I removed this, but yeah. Bonus. Private Discord group. I already show it. Here is our Discord. We have the UNF Games Pro group. We have the members where we welcome you all. Course updates, general questions you can ask. If you need support with the course, someone was asking for subtitles, we are really considering that. You can ask it here. Pro group support is any type of support, any type of questions, and well, some prefer to post it here instead of the forum, but yeah, you can. And this is the private stream room. Private. Okay, so that's one of the bonuses. You get all the live stream, the previous live streams, which I should be able to see, right? Can I see it? Here are all the lessons that you will be getting at enemies. Where are the live stream? Bonus live streams. Production cycle. We did feedback sessions on your progress. Whenever the members ask us for feedback, then we try to create a feedback session. Art fundamentals, source control, open world workflows, more feedbacks. Advanced texturing techniques, more feedback. Common UI, enhanced input. I did the I know I have a video on the channel, on the YouTube channel, but I did this one first, and I covered like examples, more examples, and VFX tips and tricks. The other bonus that you will get, this is not it either. Let's go to the end. Where is it? Ultimate Marketplace Bundle. You get all of our marketplace assets. And these are these ones. You get them by buying the course. Here they are. You just download them and you are done. The bonus for all our premium courses that you can find in where are they? Here, the vault. Most of them here are the free ones that you can find in YouTube. But if, for example, I want to do this beginner tutorial, you could save your progress here, which is nice. And also, all products. We have the Impact VFX Niagara, create a castle. It's a little old, but it still works. The fundamentals are the same. Model a castle inside Unreal. I put my minimap tutorial here so it can be a little bit more appreciated. And the interactive menu on the style of Genshin Impact. You get those tutorials also for free by buying our action game course. So a lot of bonus. And yeah, any questions about that also you can ask us. So yeah, if you want to learn for free, you have the Game Dev Quest. This is all our YouTube tutorials. If you want to learn with us, you can buy the action game course also, which is the pinned comment on this video. So yeah, any other question that I missed while I was promoting my stuff? You can learn blueprints by practice. Yes, practice is the mother of all skills. But perfect practice is even better. I mean, you can practice anything, but if you're practicing wrong, you will have some issues whenever you try to put it to use. Could I request some videos about multiplayer setups, either with Steam or without, like self-hosting and several? Would be cool. Yeah, the thing about that is that if I made a video like that, I would need to make a video about multiplayer itself and that is a huge task. So right now I cannot promise it. I would like to do it, but I believe there are some materials or some videos also in YouTube where you can find that specific setup. What if I have a very cool story for a game that is very large in perspective? Depends. If you want to keep the story, do not change it, and make your game fit the story, I mean, that's even that's so troublesome. But if you want to do it like that, you will need to find alternatives on how can you narrate that story through a game. Maybe it could be a point and click, which isn't that. You could add a lot of text that tells the story. You can decrease the gameplay elements, but you have the risk of it becoming of just come on, English, don't fail me. You will have the risk of it becoming maybe a walking simulator or just a interactive narrative. Yeah, that will be the risk. Like maybe you want to make a game, maybe you just want to make an interactive book. But if you want to have some gameplay on it, then you will for sure need to have some trade-offs. You will need to see what assets do you have. If you can, or if in your team you have a 3D modeler, then for sure you can have custom 3D models. Otherwise, you will need to look into the marketplace and see what do you have, and based on it, change the story. So at first, the story of this game, or the narrative that I had in my mind, is that, oh yeah, I will randomly spawn these goblins, and you will become one of these goblins, and you will turn red. I didn't have the time to do that, so I'm just a goblin killing goblins. But I may do my original idea in a stream when I try to polish this. So yeah, if you have a big idea, try to break it down. Having a notepad, try to break it down. What things you need to do will probably give you a better approximation on how long will it take you, and from there you can start cutting stuff. It's always super common whenever someone new starts making games. It's like, character, oh, you will have 4 playable characters, and it's like, dude, with only 1 you already have a lot of tasks to do, so maybe just reduce it to 1, or maybe it's a first person shooter and you only need the arms. I don't know, it's a complicated issue on where to cut stuff, but the less the better, especially at the start. The less that you can get away with. Especially, I wanted to test if, maybe shooting a projectile with a Niagara particle could be fun, and it looked like, I shouldn't have press play. It looked cool for me, so it looked cool, so it works. So yeah, I leave it like that. Did you do anything in those 2 hours? If so, can you show progress? Maybe you just got here, but the game is really simple. I have enemies, I can shoot around, and whenever I kill everyone, I get a cool message. I don't have a crosshair. And every goblin is a one-shot type of goblin. A win! You killed everyone. That's the game. Let's see if there's any other questions. Your tutorials are helping me to make my portfolio. Can you talk about your current job and what projects I should be making for working as an environment artist in the gaming company? Okay, so the first part, so for your portfolio, if you're starting, it would be a good idea to have some games. Now, depends a lot on what you are trying to get a job for. If you want to get a job for as a game developer, as a game programmer, you can check out your first games here. You can check out this and create your own version of this, so you can have like examples of your work. I mean, it's good to learn from us, and it's good to get the fundamentals. And yeah, you can put the game samples you're making in your portfolio, and that will help anyone see that you have the experience of creating a game, experience of creating mechanics, experience of a lot of stuff. Now, if you're working for environments, probably you will want to check ArtStation, which I have this cool plugin called Tab ArtStation that should lead me to ArtStation. And start posting, and probably here in ArtStation you will have your portfolio. You can search for environment 3D, and it's a good idea to have a breakdown, not only just a screenshot, but if you can break it down, it's a better presentation, right? Yeah, and if you want environments, well, you are also in DAC. If you go to our game quest, I should put a button to go to the top, or to go here. If you go to, was it world building? I believe so. You can create these environments, and you can give your own spin to it. So yeah, that way you can show that you know how to use the tools, and from there creating a portfolio. For your other part of the question that I already lost, right now I'm currently all full-time here in UNF Games. We're working on finishing the action game, because the action game is still in early access, so when we finish it we will probably raise the price. There's a lot of value there. And I'm also creating a game for UNF Games that, well, it's progressing slowly because of all the tasks that we need to do here, but we're still developing that. Another question. Should I start with heading to learning a game, or start with specific tutorials like in-depth about certain things? Depends on you. If you're starting, for sure, start here in the introduction to Unreal Engine 5.2. And from there, depends what you want to learn. If you want to go more, I want to create environments, I want to create VFX, then you can search for it. I want to model stuff inside the engine, I want to create environments, I want to create VFX. But if you want to create games, then for sure you can start with this, your first game in Unreal Engine. This covers a lot of what it's taught here in the 5.2, but it's a good idea to also visit it, because it will reinforce the learning that you already did. So it will be a good idea to watch this video and then your first game in Unreal Engine. From there, if you want to search for more type of games, you can create your first game: platformer game, shooter game, real-time car game. Again, most of them are kind of complete, but you could add a lot of stuff on top, especially on the real-time strategy game. I managed to create the basic functionality, but I couldn't create everything, because a real-time strategy game is like a huge undertaking. So I believe this one is like 11 hours and I couldn't finish like a complete game, but it gives you a really good idea on how to create one. A first start. Can you make a live when you make a GTA style game, please? A GTA style game, I mean, it's a huge game. I don't know if I can create it live, and I don't even know if I would be interested in creating like the whole game, right? I mean, I could create mechanics, and yeah. How to respawn an enemy? Another questions. You will need a system or a blueprint that can respawn stuff, and if you were for the development of the game, the same way that I used dispatchers to know when that goblin was killed, I can use the same dispatcher to let another blueprint know that I should respawn an enemy. So yeah, that's how you can respawn enemies. And respawning is just spawn actor from class, or the other way is that you don't destroy the goblin and just reset the values, the life value and the location value. You can also do it like that. How can I create Dust 2 from CSGO with free assets? I mean, this almost look like CS Dust, don't you think? And right now, this is free. It's free from the month. I have been using the Goblin Warrior Modular, the Big Niagara Bundle, and the Bazaar. And then it's just a matter of usually if you are working in the layout of the map, going to the top view and putting it in lit can help you like determine the layout, and then you can enter the perspective and start adding the assets, and that's how you make the map. Car racing game next. Oh man, let's see what the next marketplace asset bring. We will see what will happen. Okay, so now I have been streaming for almost 4 hours. Again, the game was developed technically in 1 hour and 59 minutes and 55 seconds. So I did create the game in 2 hours, but I spent a lot of time not developing, answering questions, and also explaining what I was doing, depending on what the chat asks, right? If the chat didn't ask for an explanation, then I would go forward. I'm working on your camera from your racing game, but it says that the value isn't compatible with float, but it worked for you in the video. Any tips? Probably would be a good idea to leave me that question in our Discord server here, in the support general. Attach some images and I will check it out whenever I'm available, because right now I'm dying of hunger. So yeah, maybe later in the afternoon, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't remember what I did in the racing car game, so I can't give you any tips for now. Okay, so that will be it for the stream today. Hopefully you learned a bunch of stuff. We managed to create a little game, and maybe I can revisit it later on. So for now, this will be it. Take good care, guys and girls, and keep developing, keep learning, have fun, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe and all the other stuff, and hit the bell and all the YouTube stuff that people always say that I always forget. But yeah, take care.